Okay. Sorry. So all right. So you have all these
Camera on.
the camera's on. I had to check it
Okay.
because that's what directors and stuff and people who know about electronic.
Ooh, director.
I went to school for it.
Hard telling.
Okay. So in
Did you know you had fuzz in your ear?
No, I didn't notice. Where is it?
Yep, there it is.
Oh,
You
thank
got it.
I got
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Next.
Rebecca De Mornay's character. Did you buy so you didn't buy into her sons? Did you buy into her character, like the way she interacted with people?
I mean, she's a good actress, and she's hot, by the way.
Yes. Once again.
But the character that she was assigned was a little less than plausible. She wasn't crazy enough in her pleasant lines, where she was trying to be the nice little mother. I would expect a real nutcase to be a little more wild-eyed, etc., and not to switch over to such a sweet, you know what I mean, sort of like a put-on overly sweet. And she was sort of oversweet, but not enough to convince me that she's actually nuts. That's a technical term that we use for insane.
So she wasn't sweet enough to prove that she was nuts.
She wasn't falsely oversweet enough.
So
it's hard to describe that, isn't it?
Or it is a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't put on an overly sweet attitude all the time, do you?
The hell do you mean?
Okay, well, obviously. Fits of rage running our family. All right, so she kind of went in and out of it. She didn't, and I agree. It's like like some of the
She was hot when she was young.
She was so hot when she was young. I never saw all of Risky Business. I did see that one scene with.
Come on YouTube. I bet you we can find it.
I bet we could find it on my smartphone.
Your phone's that smart?
Yeah, I bet I could. Here, watch.
No, don't bother.
Okay, probably not. But I saw Risky Business. Well, I saw the part where like Tom Cruise runs around in his underwear.
No. That's your favorite part, not mine.
Anyway, all right. So besides Risky Business,
I never saw her in anything else.
never. And is SAR a word? How do you spell that?
S-A-W.
All right. Where's the R?
Did I say R?
Yeah, you said SAR.
It might be my dental appliance.
There you go. What's wrong with your face?
My what?
Nothing. Let's move on.
My bangs are hanging down.
I can see that your bangs are.
I'm overdue.
Yeah, because it's.
I'm seeing Jane tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not helping. There you go. That's very good. Anyway, so all right. So Rebecca De Mornay's character, not she didn't really play it right. It was kind of a little bit off. But all the other party goers and everything, like as the story started to go, do you think like when Beth had to leave with the one guy to go get the money that the mother was looking for, do you think that made any sense, like separating the two plot points?
Well, no, but basically the whole thing revolves around trying to show how bad, how poor human nature can be, and trying to prove that everybody has their line or whatever. I refer you to a movie called The Magic Christian.
The Magic Christian?
Yes, with Ringo Starr and Peter Sellers. The premise of the movie was that Peter Sellers is the world's richest man and Ringo Starr is the world's poorest boy, and they go out to prove that everybody has this price, including scenes of people jumping into a pool of manure to salvage bills of money. Point of for instance, the two girls that stab each other because one is.
Well, do you remember seeing Batman though? Do you remember seeing the second Batman?
Yeah, but
movie?
I'm saying it's sick.
Well, yeah, but why would he have him do that? I mean, like, do you think? I mean, like in the Batman movie, remember when the Joker he has the pool cue? It's like
but people don't do that. This is hyperbole. This is making a point by overstating the case in the most bizarre realms of torture, perhaps.
Right.
But the
just going out into society and doing that, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and not to mention, in a sense, this was assigning a little too much logic to such a crazy person. That she figures all this out. That if I do this, then that'll cause somebody else to do something else. It's a recurring theme, like Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes things, whatever, where he does things that will make the hero do weird stuff that he didn't know he was being controlled.
Right.
Whatever.
You're really punking me out of my own show. You know that, right?
What?
You're like bringing in all these excellent examples, and
I'm old, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, really.
And hot. Me and Rebecca.
Obviously. So all right. So actually,
But she's discreet.
She's just very. I really hope she is. So obviously, the older
hot.
and hot. So obviously, the older you are, the more you know. So all right. So at the end of the movie, like as older, like the crazy, like the really, like the house burning down and everybody like turning on each other. Like when that one guy, spoiler alert.
Yeah. No, don't tell him about the guy who, no.
So at the end, like, there's so many crazy things happening. I mean, for me, I'm just like, I'm like, oh my god, there is so much that is going on. You almost don't get a real sense of anybody. It's like, this is almost like an 80s horror movie. Like,
yeah, it was.
It was. I mean, it was like perfectly. Even the way it starts out, the guy in the beginning, having the Mother's Day card and dropping it, and that's why.
But in the 80s, she was hot.
Do you know what a troll is?
There were no trolls in this movie.
Okay, obviously not. You're right. I'm sorry.
Look, a chicken!
I can't believe I looked. You could have said a unicorn and I would have looked. Alright, so of all the things that have in the movies, Rebecca De Mornay's character, all these other actors that we really don't know who they are. Like, there was one guy in there, he actually played Iceman in X-Men 1 and 2.
Oh, like I would have seen that.
Well, you saw the X-Men movies. Did you?
Why would I?
It had a lot of hot women in it.
Hey, I don't do X-Men, I don't do smartphones.
What type of phone do you have again?
It's black and it's about that big.
Oh, there we go. It's black, that big. That could be anything. All right, so at the end of the movie, what out of my 4K review, because we can give halves on everything. Let's break it down. Rebecca De Mornay. What would you give her?
3K.
3K for Rebecca De Mornay.
She used to be 4K.
She used to be 4K, but
when she was young, she was hot.
So over the past 20 years, she got delayed.
Hey, we all fade a little,
A little bit. Some more than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Premise of the movie, the way it was executed, the way, like, this director actually, he directed Saw 2, 3, and 4.
Not exactly a date movie, would you say?
No, it wouldn't be. I mean,
And aren't the Saw things kind of similar, where you can survive if you kill somebody else?
That's pretty true. That was in this movie. If you killed somebody, you survived.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the guy's stuck.
It's very true, but he got Rebecca De Mornay in it.
Well, that's true. If you get a hot chick in it, it improves a little bit.
Right, but she's obviously gone down a little bit.
Well, hey, we all, age a little bit.
Right, but still good, right?
Becca, call me.
Okay, so once again, what do you think out of the whole premise of the movie, the way it was executed, the way the characters interacted, and at the end, by the end, what would you give it as on a 4K scale, the whole thing?
1.5.
And you gave Rebecca a 3K. Doesn't that like bring the 1.5?
She's Rebecca.
So you're not even gonna give it a 2 because you realize you're taking it down. Like, okay, you said 1.5. You're taking it down.
I'm not insulting Rebecca.
So okay, so 1.5.
1.5.
1.5.
Best
Okay.
I could do. Well, what would you do?
I would actually give it a 2K because it.
Fine, let's split the difference. 1.75.
1.75.
Bird agrees.
I bet they heard that too. How about we do this? 1.75. I go inside and murder the bird. Shut up!
And remember, if you don't like what you're watching, punch him out.